What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Friday. Finally, Football Friday, November 10th, 2023. Welcome in, everybody. So, yeah, big news is dropped, huh? Looks like we got Sean joining me here today. We'll get to the chat in a moment. 1 second. Get Sean in here. He's connecting. And connecting. Hello. Oh, he's almost in. All right. So obviously we're talking about the Michigan penalty, kind of, sort of. Anyway, we'll get Sean in here. His audio is trying to connect, and we'll talk about it. But so I can read the statement. Basically, it's pretty short. Basically, this is the official statement from the Big Ten. Said that the Big Ten Conference announced today that the University of Michigan has been found in violation of the Big Ten sportsmanship policy for conducting an impermissible in-person scouting operation over multiple years, resulting in an unfair competitive advantage that compromised the integrity of competition. So, as a penalty imposed on the institution, the university football team must compete without its head coach for the games remaining in the 2023 regular season, effective immediately. This disciplinary action shall not preclude the university or its football team from having its head coach attend practices or other football team activities other than the game activities to which it applies. For clarity, the head football coach shall not be present at the game venue on the dates of the games to which this disciplinary action applies. So, brass tacks, he's suspended for 3 games. He's going to be watching tomorrow's game from a hotel room in the State College area, I guess. Henry, got you.
What's up?
What's up? What are you doing?
Oh, just listening to this bullshit. Not your bullshit, but the bullshit that just came out. I think it's a joke. It's you try and please everybody. I don't think you please anyone. I think, to me, this is a win for Michigan. This is a big time win. Like I texted you earlier, I don't think Harbaugh is a great in-game coach. If you wanted to,
right,
Connor Stallions was whispering into Minner and what's his face's ear, the coordinators, not Harbaugh. Harbaugh's standing there, looking bewildered half the time on the sideline, like he didn't even know what the hell's going on. They've already went through 3 games without him, so it's not like this is going to be anything new. Kind of a dick move to do it the day before, like, you're done by the NCAA. And then it's only for the regular season. He can, if they go to the Big Ten championship, they can do all that. It's just bullshit.
They don't even mention postseason play at all in the statement. So
I just think it's going to be hilarious. Again, if Michigan were to beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten, if they're to beat Penn State here, I mean, I'm not even overlooking this game. But if Michigan were to go on and win the Big Ten championship, that Petiti would have to hand that trophy to Jim Harbaugh. Makes me fucking happy. You scumbags.
Right.
What a look.
Quick poll: who's worse, Petiti or Kevin Warren? In the chat, Warren or Petiti? But so it looks like Michigan is going to push forward with some legal action of some kind here.
They better be careful with that. I feel like they've been granted a really, again, I look at this whole thing right now as a Michigan win. I feel like if Michigan wants to, and I feel like they set that up like, okay, Michigan, we're going to punish you, but you still got a really good team, and you're probably going to go postseason, and we're kind of letting you off light for now. NCAA is going to probably bury you after the season, but for now, we're just going to let it go on. And I think they did it to let that play out. If Michigan were to make it to the playoffs, the Big Ten gets another extra $6 million, blah, blah, blah. And I think they let it play out and took it easy. If Michigan pushes back too hard on this, I don't think that's in their best interest at this point. If they were getting death penalty or something, of course I would, but to suspend your coach just for games and he can be at all the practices, who cares? He didn't call and play. I mean, what you're the guy that decides to go for it on fourth down, or big deal. Anybody can figure that out.
Exactly.
And if Michigan wants to push back on this, I just don't know why. Because didn't that report? I mean, I've been listening to some local guys here. Everything's true. They fucking cheated, and it's
right.
Nothing's been denied. Nothing's been that. What is Michigan coming after?
I got Michigan's statement right here. It says, like all members of the Big Ten Conference, we are entitled to a fair, deliberate, and thoughtful process to determine the full set of facts before a judgment is rendered. Today's action by Commissioner Tony Petitti disregards the conference's own handbook, violates basic tenets of due process, and sets an untenable precedent of assessing penalties before an investigation has been completed. We are dismayed.
Really weird.
Yeah, I know. We are dismayed at the commissioner's rush to judgment when there is an ongoing NCAA investigation, one in which we are fully cooperating. Oh, that's a lie. Then goes on. Commissioner Petitti's hasty action today suggests that this is more about reacting to pressure from other conference members than a desire to apply the rules fairly and impartially. By taking this action at this hour, the commissioner is personally inserting himself onto the sidelines and altering the level playing field that he is claiming to preserve, and doing so on Veterans Day, a court holiday, to try to thwart the university from seeking immediate judicial relief is hardly a profile in impartiality. To ensure fairness in the process, we intend to seek a court order together with Coach Harbaugh, preventing this disciplinary action from taking effect. So, sounds like they want to play hardball, and
I know you wanted to wait. You wanted to wait for the tunnel incident against Michigan State to play out too. No, you were like, everybody needs to be kicked off the team right now. And
yep, and they're not cooperating fully with any investigation.
Fuck no, Connor Stein's like, nope, I'm out. I'm not talking to anybody.
Same with Weiss. Weiss is a friend of the Harbaugh brothers. He's not going to take them down. So I don't know who's cooperating so much. Harbaugh left was supposed to meet with was it the feds or the NCAA or both a couple of weeks ago, and he just let the AD and the president meet with the feds. So, yeah, there's no cooperation here. But back to the entire statement. I mean, it's just, I don't think you want to go to discovery. I mean, I beg that this goes to court. Please, let's see all the shit that was on those computers. Let's see Stallion's laminated play sheets and all the videos he has stockpiled. Let's see that practice footage we've heard so much about.
Well, I heard on one of the shows here that I guess the thing's like 25 pages, like it's a long report. And one of the guys was saying that there's other stuff that they found that they can't talk about because of non-disclosure agreements and things of that nature that the NCAA is going to be looking into. So, I mean, this to me, it's the tip of the iceberg. I think the Big Ten could have been a little stronger. But again, it's money talks, bullshit walks. They want their money. Michigan's drawing it right now, and that's that. They got a Heisman contender. They got a national champ possibilities. And they need to get it right now. And I think Michigan is so panicked because after this year, Michigan's, water finds its level. We'll see Michigan at 9-3 next year, 8-4.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're losing a ton of dudes. But yeah, I just, I think Petiti is walking a thin line, and I think the most important thing is to still deliver the Ohio State Michigan game, obviously Penn State Michigan tomorrow, but he's still putting the product on the field. He's taking a coach off. It's really just a dog and pony show. I mean, this is just for show, right? I mean, this is like a circus. Everything else about the actual game on the field is going to be unencumbered, untouched. It's just going to be another game, right?
I think so. I mean, I don't want to cancel the games. I want to play the games, period.
Right.
But I would have, I don't know. I just would have been harder. To me, I've just never seen anything like this. And the integrity of the game during the game. I know people cheat in bags and blah, 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 but not in the, I don't know. I'm just really, I'm over it kind of, but I'm just, my dislike for Michigan fan is even greater. I don't know if that was possible, but it was. And just there, I mean, and I don't care. And I know they don't want to be suspended. And don't, of course, I wouldn't want that either. But they're like in denial that they fucking did anything wrong. It's like, dude, it's in your face. You guys cheated. Right. Everyone knows it. The fucking report's true. You guys have been cheating for a few years now. You were going to keep doing it. We fucking caught you. Period.
Yeah, Michigan fans have really showed their intelligence level in not being able to understand the difference between illegal sign stealing and legal acquisition of signs. You know,
can you believe it? Like a month later, they're still like, "Oh, sign stealing's legal." Right, no shit.
Right. yeah. They don't get the illegal part of it.
It's just and taping it from sidelines, and that isn't legal. Everyone sign steals. I mean, gosh, just over and over again. And it's like, I don't know if does that make them feel better inside? I guess it probably does. Like, no, we're Michigan, leaders and best. We're not like Ohio State, those fucking scumbag cheaters.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's funny. It's really funny. The loudmouth morons coming from that fan base. So we've got competing statements here from the Big Ten and from, looks like we got somebody to bounce already. You're bounced, Abram.
I had to get on that message board and start hammering them back with my own shit.
Well, you have a microphone. You don't need to type. But yeah, let's run through the chat here and give us some more fodder. Eric Moore, welcome into the show. Ooh, I got to keep an eye out. We are taking calls. If anybody wants to call in, the number is in the description below the video. Yeah, Eric, he says, I'm hearing Jimbo got a slap on the wrist. Exactly. Ryan Day's beard is in. He says 3-game suspension remainder of season. He's allowed to coach during the week, but not during. Yes. I read the statement. Right. And Michigan is going to file. So that won't even get in the court's hands till Monday. So who knows if something could happen quickly next week that will allow Harbaugh to be on the sidelines for next Saturday's game. Was that Maryland they have, I believe? That's an away game. I believe that's an away game too. So yeah.
It is.
Yeah, RDB says it here. He says, at this point, I'm just ready to play ball. It's up to Penn State and Ohio State to knock them off. That would really absolve the commish, right? If Penn State knocks them off tomorrow.
Oh, no, it wouldn't. Because, here, I'm going to pull out my best Michigan fan fucking thing. Oh, we lost because you guys screwed us and you had Harbaugh on the things. You guys totally screwed us because you couldn't stand it. You were so scared to play us. And you guys
because we're soft
out of this on some bullshit that everyone does. And sign stealing's legal.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
You got thrown soft about 5 times. Yeah. But then the response from the Buckeyes side would be, yeah, you beat us because you've been cheating. Now you guys don't have the signs to steal, and you lost your first tough game.
True.
So
And in
either
a
way,
perfect world, in a perfect world, I think the Big Ten wants Michigan to lose against Penn State and Ohio State, and just be out and like, okay, we don't have to do it. We don't have to punish them.
Right. Exactly. Eric brings up a good point here. What message does this send going forward? Cheat and just lose a few games on the sideline. That's an excellent point, because Harbaugh was suspended 3 games for the cheeseburgers, right? And having recruits on campus during COVID. Now he's suspended 3 games for what, in the statement they even said, the Big Ten said that this has been going on for multiple years, but he only gets 3 games for that.
Again, when Ohio State gets a whole season vacated and then doesn't get to go postseason the next year over something was the same as basically their cheeseburger incident, same right. thing. Your coach lied to the NCAA. That's what got Tressel in trouble. But we had to, vacate wins and got rid of our coach, and then we went undefeated the next year and didn't get a play for anything.
Exactly.
And again, that wasn't integrity of the game stuff. That was, off the field, whatever. To me, it's ridiculous. But I also feel that the Big Ten was weak here. I think the NCAA will probably come back and hit that program a little harder. And again, I don't think it matters. I think Harbaugh's gone.
Right, exactly. That does us no good right now, through the rest of the playoffs and everything, the NCAA.
Should have helped Michigan, because Harbaugh's going to be gone, and now you've given Minner and the other guy 6 games to basically run the show. Heck, they got some head coaching experience now, and when Harbaugh's gone, I guarantee they just pull up Minner or one of the other guys to do it, at least for a year, like we did with Fickle.
Yeah.
And if he bombs out, which he's gonna, next year's coach is gonna have a problem.
Big problem. Yeah. Odysseus mentions that the coordinators can still coach, and it fires up their team. It does kind of give you that circle the wagons mentality, right? If you're Michigan, the players anyway.
I mean, I look, anytime someone calls me a cheater and I'm not a cheater, yeah, I am fired up about it. You don't accuse me of some shit like that. And that's maybe why the Michigan fan base is saying we're not cheaters. We're not cheaters. No, you are cheaters. But if someone calls me a cheater and I was cheating, then I feel like a total ass and I'm not that inspired. But if they can maintain the message that we're not cheaters and this is just everybody out to get us, Michigan against the world, blah, 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 then I think they can circle the wagons around this. I don't think they should. It's like, what? You're like, yeah, we cheated and we got away with it. Fuck these guys. It's like, I mean, right. Yeah, way to go, leaders and best. Just bullshit.
Yeah.
But again, I don't even think, who cares? Let them play this year. I thought it would have been a strong move to ban them from postseason. Not even get rid of Harbaugh. Just like, look, you guys are banned from postseason this year, and we'll let the NCAA and that finish it up next year. Because again, the Big Ten's not the only people that care about this. You had the allegations about the Clemson, South Carolina stuff, and advanced scouting Georgia, and it's right. Others involved now. You got people on the sidelines at MAC schools, or I mean,
yeah. Where's Central Michigan at? I haven't heard a peep from them since McElwain called that dude the sign stealer guy.
Well, that's 100% like, okay, it was him. Because if not, it's like, no, that was Joe. He,
right. Yeah, his name's on the list right here.
Yeah, they've never provided that list. I do want to see, because they're like, no, that guy's name wasn't on the list. I want to see. I think it'd be great to see what name he used, like Pierre Delecto, or
Right. I think I used Roger Clemens once when we went to a strip club and you had to sign the clipboard at the front.
Brings the heat.
Yeah. RDB says if they're in the Big Ten title game, he's going to be there. Right. Yeah, that's the way it looks. I don't see another punishment coming down. RDB says Kevin Warren's worse. He wouldn't have done anything. At least something got done. I know it's not much, but I'll take it over nothing. Yeah. And then it opens up the question, Harbaugh's not going to be on the field for the game, so you don't get that kind of, the handshake after the game, when Ryan Day sticks it in and twists it.
Maybe he could get a hold of Stallions and get himself a nice disguise and a Penn State hat and get over on the other sideline.
Right. Yeah. Stallions is the master of disguise.
The jackal.
Yeah. Kaysen, how you doing, Kaysen? Welcome to the show. What's going on with you? Appreciate you. Drop your questions in if you have anything or comments. Ron says Michigan's new name is You Cheater You. Vote them out of the conference. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
If you read message boards, there's apparently all kinds of MGO blog posts about the SEC would be interested in taking Michigan in.
They have. I've read a bunch of it too. But like, yeah, I was kind of that way, years ago when Michigan's been terrible for 2 decades. Nobody's good in the Big Ten. It's Ohio State carrying the whole freaking thing. Now Michigan's up there and has some credence. But yeah, a lot of their boards are like, fuck the Big Ten. It's our conference. Right. And, we'll just leave and this whole conference will crumble. Okay.
Oh, we got another guy about to get bounced calling me fat. You can't even see my body, dumbass. You're gone.
Come on, Joe, show him that big dick.
Yeah. Let's see. Odysseus has a good question. PSU wins tomorrow. Does the penalty change? Probably not. I don't know why it would.
If it were to end up in a 3-way tie, we all lose to each other. Does Penn State holds that tiebreaker? Is that correct?
I think so. Yeah, because it goes to like the highest ranked Big Ten West team you've beaten. And I think they beat Iowa or somebody like that. Whoever's, I don't know, something like that. That's the tiebreaker.
It goes down to like the 5th or 6th one on the list, right?
Yeah, it's way down the list. Yeah, I don't see how we're going to get to that, but anyway, that would be crazy.
Well, yeah, I think if Penn State beats them, I think we're going to beat them too.
Green Man. What's up, Green Man? Good point. He says Jimmy is thrilled that he has 3 extra days off to interview with the NFL.
Well, not only that, but Jimmy gets to say now, also, if they lose, it's not my fault.
Right.
Wasn't me.
Yeah.
If you guys let me on there, didn't screw me because everyone's out to get Michigan, we would have won.
Yeah. Odysseus has a great point here too. He said the cheaters up north have the biggest cheating scandals in both college football and basketball. Legit.
I'd like to take a look at that baseball team too.
There you go. Yeah. Just run a fine tooth comb through the whole athletic department.
Yeah, and then they got I don't know. Hockey's weird how they got draft picks, but it was like a year or 2 ago, Michigan got 4 of the top 4 draft picks. I think coming out of the junior leagues where they don't actually go to the NHL, but they'll go play college hockey or something. They got 4 of the top 5. That was pre-NIL, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
But again, I almost feel sorry for them that they're like, no, we're better than you. We're our program or whatever. Right. I'd probably feel a lot better about it if they were just regular program. I'm like, yeah, it sucks. I hope we don't get hammered too hard. Shouldn't have done it. Something's going to happen. But that's not their approach at all. They're like, no, we didn't do anything wrong. It blows my mind.
Yeah. In just this college football season, Harbaugh was suspended for the COVID infractions. Earlier back in January. So let's say the last calendar year, last 10, 11 months. You had Matt Weiss getting suspended, fired, and now investigated by the feds. You had a staffer try to meet a 13-year-old girl in the back of a Walmart. You got Stallions with all of his sign stealing for multiple years, as acknowledged by the Big Ten. And then the rest of the coaching staff is all aware of the Stallions sign stealing. That's a hell of a season, man.
Did it say that? Because it said something in there. The staff was aware of it?
No. I was saying that. They didn't mention the staff.
On the radio show before you got going, I they were combing through there and trying to pick some highlights. And again, one of those things that's under confidentiality and like NDA that I think the NCAA will deal with. But it mentioned something about staffers. And okay, are we just talking about? I figured it was just Connor Stallion. You'd say that, but they're saying staffers on one of their things. So again, this to me is the tip of the iceberg. Whatever is what it is. NCAA is, I think, going to be a little different.
Yeah. He said, it says in the official statement, the opening paragraph is the Big Ten Conference announced today that the University of Michigan has been found in violation of the Big Ten sportsmanship policy for conducting an impermissible in-person scouting operation over multiple years, resulting in unfair advantage. It doesn't place a title to who was doing it, like staff members or anything like that, assistants or anything. Yeah, they don't mention that in the actual penalty either. Just says they'll have to compete without their head coach for the remainder of the 2023 regular season, effective immediately. And he can attend practices and other team activities. Just he can't be at the venue of the games.
To me, that's just dumb, though, to do it like the day before. I mean, they play a game in like 6 hours.
Right.
And to do it now, it's just Big Ten. That is a little weak sauce. If I was the Big Ten, I probably would have waited till after this game. He was already on the bus, but on the way there, like you said, so like next week, will he also travel to Maryland and be there right up in the locker room with them until they take the field?
It says he can't be at the venue, so maybe he could be at the hotel.
All right, guys, I'll be down at the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be at the lobby bar. Yeah. Odysseus says he thinks the ADs, coaches, and presidents are going to give Petiti hell this week.
I think
not like he can't change his decision
might be a one and done. Petiti might be a one and done.
He might, yeah. Maybe he'll be the next president of the Chicago Bears or something.
I don't know. It's it's almost getting to be. It probably already is. I mean, I already considered like the NFL and Commissioner Goodell. That's like a gangster organization. They're gangsters, and I'm starting to feel like the NCAA and these big conferences are gangsters too.
Yeah. Yeah, RDB says the same. He says the real hit will be when the NCAA comes down, but again, that they take years sometimes to finish an investigation. Ex-Mariner, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, but says ESPN is like a Michigan fan at this point. They are. Yeah, it is.
They do have a lot of ties there, but if you go to a Michigan board, they'd say ESPN, we should sue them too for libel and slander, all the terrible things they've said. And Pete Thamel is Ryan Day's best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, you got Desmond Howard over there just spouting off nonsense nonstop every time he's in front of a fucking camera.
I mean, that's his shtick, though, right? Just be a loud idiot. That everything you say is like, oh my gosh. I can't believe there was a market for that. It must be a ton of Michigan fans around the country because I can't believe there's a market for Desmond Howard on those shows. That guy's been terrible with his I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I don't like Desmond Howard. Actually, I don't dislike him. I think he's a nice guy. He's up there, he's a nice smile, talks well, but he doesn't add anything to it. He's like a clown up there. He's there for the clicks.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Peace Florida says lose to Penn State, lose to OSU, and they're gone. That's the only thing left to do is, let's beat the shit out of them. Let's put them in their place. Let's revenge, our own. Let's enact our own form of justice on the field when we play them up there. Yeah, it was not really a hammer. Just reading through the comments here. Yeah, Odysseus also has a good point that nothing's been done to prevent them from continuing to cheat. Stallions may have trained GAs on the staff and they're still using the stolen info.
Well, if you've already got like the database and the algorithms and stuff that you've got illegally, it still exists, right? I mean, Stallions didn't have all this memorized in his head. I mean, this data's somewhere.
Right. Exactly. So maybe they'll just do a better way of hiding that those laminated sheets with the cartoon characters on it, right? But with all the signs.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, since it's been so far, I mean, I'll go out and say, going forward, unless Ohio State, Penn State, Maryland are idiots, I don't think there will be a sign stealing advantage against those teams. And he probably screwed us and maybe took some time away that our guys had to focus on this, and our coaching staff had to focus on, learning a new language essentially. But I don't think sign stealing will be an issue anymore. I'm not going to say that it wasn't the first half of the season for those guys, those early games that they played. I do think it was. They were using that, but I don't think these games against Penn State and Ohio State, I think will be legit. I'm not going to say, oh well, they were cheating all year and had our stuff. I'm not. Now the last 2 years, but I think you beat us. I'll still say that, but I asterisk the thing. I don't know. I don't know if you would have beat us like that.
Yeah.
I would like to see those wins vacated. And the Michigan people say, yeah, well, we still beat you. And I'll even agree with that. Yeah, look at the record book. That doesn't count.
Right. Yeah. The vacating stuff and taking away trophies really, though, I mean, that doesn't really land with me. It doesn't really do much for me.
For something like that, to me it does. If it's a guy was getting paid, and I'm not, that's not a competitive advantage other than maybe you're getting better players on your sidelines or whatever. But the in-game stuff, it can't. To me, it's as egregious as if you had a ref that's on your side and making calls one way. This is like this is Chicago Black Sox. I mean, this is nasty, dirty business.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a good comparison. The Black Sox scandal. Stephen Cherry's in the show. He says their fan base is in shambles. They swear Ryan Day is behind this. Yeah, that still cracks me up. And
the funny thing about that, Stephen, is they actually think every other fan base is in shambles because we're so afraid.
Yeah.
The delusion, it's just.
Yeah, it is overwhelming. And how lame are the death threats? People sending death threats to Ryan Day's family. Come on, man. That's like
leaders and best. Leaders and best.
Lowest common denominator, man. How dumb are you? I hope they track every one of those assholes. Yeah, Peace Florida says at the lobby bar texting in cheat codes.
Weird.
C-Dog, what's up, C-Dog? He says Harbaugh will be on a cell phone talking to assistants. What's that? You're kind of breaking up there. Pam, what's up, Pam? Good to see you. Says, guess they shouldn't have been flipping off the Big Ten. Yeah. I know, Jeff. Jeff says Michigan got almost no disciplinary action, right? They are lucky. I'm sure they are high-fiving each other.
I'm back. Sorry, I got bumps there for a second.
Okay. Yeah, you're starting to break up a little bit. Everybody agrees Dez is the worst. Odysseus mentions Woodson. He's pretty obnoxious too. Yeah. The sellout, as he's known
I haven't
around
heard him
Buckeye.
say much.
Yeah, he was on with somebody last week. Might have been Dez. Who knows? I don't remember. I just remember seeing it around. Chasp says this. He's that I don't think this is the last punishment from the Big Ten or from the NCAA. Because yeah, I agree with you. The NCAA will be coming down with something. Steven says the hate inside Michigan Stadium is going to be on an insane level for the game. I agree with that. Yeah,
that is. That is going to be an environment up there this year.
Exactly. Chris, how you doing, Chris? Is there going to be extra security for OSU when they go to Michigan? That concerns me. Some of these fans have acted nuts. Yeah, many of them. One tunnel to the locker room, not good. I hope they do. Yeah, I thought they sorted out that problem with the one tunnel thing where Michigan waits for the visiting team to get into the locker room, then they go into the locker room. So hopefully we maintain that. But it is going to be nuts. The intensity, the hate, everything. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
That's why I wish Harbaugh was going to be there.
I know. See, look on his face. Yeah, to me, it's just it's a dumb punishment. Again, I personally think it helps Michigan. I know everyone's like, oh, Harbaugh, he's the greatest coach. Okay, I'm not buying it. The guy was, you sent me that text last night. I saw what he done the first 5 years at Michigan, and you should be. Michigan is a blue blood. It's Ohio State, Michigan. We've owned this conference for forever, and that you come in and have been so mediocre with that blue blood program, and then now all of a sudden you guys are rock stars. When this happens again, just everything is asterisk to me with Jim Harbaugh with all this. And again, I don't think he's coaching next year, but if he does, he might coach at Michigan next year because, like you said, Joe, does the NFL want him? I think there's some bad teams like your Raiders or the Bears that could possibly take him, but he'll burn out there quick too, like he does everywhere. That'll be a 2-3 year stint and then off. Or does Harbaugh say, okay, I'm going to take this big, 5-7 year extension, get paid all this money? Because I don't know. Next year's going to be tough for him. That schedule they got, losing the dudes that they're going to lose. I mean, some could stay if they want. Maybe they're all rallying around this. We're going to stay one more year to prove we're not cheaters.
Exactly.
That'd be the only way Michigan's going to be decent next year is if like 7 eligible, good high draft pick players say, no, we're coming back. We're doing this.
Yeah. Well, Harbaugh said they were going to have 20 or 22 draft picks. So that's like your entire offense and defense. So yeah, there will be nobody back unless somebody decides that they want to. I mean, I don't see them winning a national championship regardless of what happens the rest of the Big Ten season. This is not as good a team as last year, in my opinion.
I think it's better. I really? Personally do. To me right now, I'd probably put them in the lead to win it. Again, you know me, I'm a JJ fanboy. Their O-line's legit. Their D, and if they got 17 draft players on there, here's my big question with that though. If Harbaugh's saying that all these guys are going to get drafted, are they going to get drafted because what they've done? Like, so if I'm a linebacker, for instance, and they've got a couple of decent linebackers, and like you said, or if I'm a safety, and damn, I know what play it is every time, and so it's like, man, this guy reads it so quick, and boom, he attacks the line, or something like that. Now that they don't have that advantage, I wonder if there'll be a drop off in some of those guys' performance, and do they go from being like draftable players to just decent players?
Mm-hmm. It's a good point.
I heard something good the other day too, like, and this is why I think the NCAA will come down really hard on this, is it's not just Ohio State lost and Michigan won and went on the playoffs and all that stuff. It's all the other things that you're not thinking about. What if Ohio State won there? Does Stroud win a Heisman? Does, do other coaches not get fired that they beat?
Right.
I mean, this thing has tentacles that go freaking everywhere.
That's why the entire, Big Ten, all other 13 teams, presidents, ADs, all that are so livid because, they got beat up on over this time period where Michigan was cheating. That's the biggest crock of shit is, like you said, coaches probably lost jobs, players got screwed out of awards or whatever. Players got injured, I'm sure, in Michigan games. Jeff in the chat says, this show's getting better and better. I just jumped off the kitchen counter onto the like button with a flying elbow. Thank you, Jeff.
Losing you again.
I can hear you. Hate me, my friend. If Penn State or Ohio State beats Michigan, be ready for some skyscrapers. Yeah, I know. We're Stallions. Bring back the signs. Jeremiah says, I'm not a Penn State fan. However, I am tomorrow. That's right, Jeremiah. Same here. Steven says,
I don't even know. I mean, part of it would be, it doesn't really matter to me. I would like to see Penn State beat them, just because I always like to see Michigan lose. But I'd also like to see us crush their dreams too.
Right. Yeah, Steven talks about the game at Michigan when the cameraman took out JT's knee on the sidelines. Never did find that guy. I thought the Herb was going to launch a full investigation.
When they untied Dobbins' shoe.
That was another one. That was Aiden Hutchinson that did that.
Yeah, when Harbaugh was accusing Ohio State of cheating with coaches spending times with players. The reason that they said we're going to hang 100 on you. It's just everything. I just need to ignore them.
Right.
Enjoy it, Michigan.
RDB says, what's the over-under JJ is wearing his dumbass free Harbaugh shirt? Oh, yeah. He's bringing that out.
Again, I think some of this is going to backfire. Everyone knows you cheated right in the face of everything. And if you guys start going, fuck you, yeah, we cheated and we don't care. I mean, I don't think that bodes well for them. With the NCAA or Big Ten, I think Michigan should be a little humble about this and say, okay. Agreed. And the one thing that they did that I heard is they didn't put it on Harbaugh. They basically said, hey, look, this isn't on Harbaugh, but we're suspending him. We're punishing the institution of Michigan. He's the head coach, and that's why it's him. But it's not from something. They made it specific to say it's not because Harbaugh did something. It's because the program is wrapped up in this, which is probably them wordsmithing their way out of getting freaking sued.
Yeah. Exactly. Back to the chat here.
Give me some chat.
Oh, we got a mouth breather Michigan fan that says knowing hand signals doesn't directly equate to a victory.
Shut up, dude. We're not give a shit about any of your tripe. You broke the rules.
Dude, people are dumb.
This country's done. I mean, these people are idiots. All everywhere. Idiots.
Yeah. Boom. We're blocking fools left and right. We've got over 600 views, but only 33 likes, folks. I would ask for your help there, please. It's a small favor. Doesn't cost you a dime. Let's go back to the chat. Brian says, I'm torn between rooting for Penn State tomorrow or the Cheaters up north. I'd love to see Cheaters up north go 0 for 2, but if we lose, then Penn State gets the tiebreaker and knocks us out. It's a good point. But I I don't care if they lose tomorrow. We're going to beat them.
That's true. I think we have. Well, that's true. No, I think we do have to root for Michigan tomorrow.
Now my brain's in a pretzel.
Not root for them, but again, to me, it's a meaningless game. It's good if they lose because it's always good when they lose. But it's certainly better for Ohio State if Michigan wins, because they do have that tiebreaker. Actually, that's still better for us, because if we have one loss, I'm trying to think this through. If us and Michigan both had one loss, I think one of us are still getting in. Who would it be? I guess whoever won the head-to-head, I think, would be the one that got in.
Pam asked, do you think Michigan could beat Georgia, Washington, or Oregon? I'm not sure they can. I'm not sure they can either, especially Oregon. That's
I was just looking at
game.
I was just looking at the rankings, and I mean, I'll disagree with that. I actually think I think any of the top 8 teams could win this whole thing. I think nobody really stands out head and shoulders to me.
Right.
I think any of the top 8 are legitimate contenders and could beat any other team on any day. What do you got? Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State. To me, they're maybe the most suspect. Washington, Oregon, Texas, Alabama. Bama's got one loss. They're going to play Georgia. That's almost a given now in the SEC championship.
Right. Yep.
Georgia doesn't look unbeatable like they have the last couple of years. If Bama wins that, they're in.
Yeah, you could have 2 one-loss SEC teams in there, right?
I don't think
maybe
this
a
year you can.
Pac-12.
I don't, unless there's some big upsets. I was trying to figure this out earlier. There's 5 undefeated teams that are in the mix out of 4 conferences. So obviously us and Michigan play each other. I think Washington's going to lose to Oregon. I think Oregon may jump back up in that conversation. Florida State, do they have anything left?
No. They'd end up playing, who was it? They got garbage left on their schedule. They got the Canes this week. I know that. And then they would end up playing Louisville in the conference championship game. Oh, they do have Florida at the end of the year. So in 3 weeks or 2 weeks. But Florida sucks, man. I'm not worried about that game.
I mean, they're a solid team. It's a football game. I mean, it's not a bunch of bums, but yeah, I'd expect you to win that by two scores.
Yeah, Louisville only has 1 loss on the year, but they haven't really, beaten
overachievers.
Yeah,
they would get beat by any of the 8 that I just named, I think, in soundly.
They did beat Notre Dame, but what is Notre Dame now? I don't know. You never know what you're going to get from them from week to week. So
they beat USC. Oh, they suck too. I forgot.
Yeah. Defense. Checking out the chat here again. Steven asks, do you think Day will choose to run McCord against the team up north, since he rarely does?
Well,
Kyle's not super athlete. What's that?
I'm just trying to understand the question. Say it again. Like,
says,
will we run like
Day will run Kyle McCord against the team up north, since just to kind of throw him off, because he hasn't done it all year?
I mean, I think he needs to have some of that, like CJ Stroud, Georgia playoff game. Like, hey, you got to get outside your comfort zone, and we're going to need you to make, some 3rd and 7 runs, and do some things like that. But no, that's not his game. I hope he gets a little better at it, but I don't see that being a big game plan for us. And I don't know the status of Devin Brown, but I think you got to be really careful with McCord. He's already been banged up a little bit and limping out there. We'll see. But I mean, it is Michigan game, so I mean, every play is available. We got to win the game. So if you got to run.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be good to have some something like that in your back pocket that you break out for the game. It seems like there's always something, some little wrinkle maybe. I don't know if it'll necessarily be a trick play or something like that. I don't want to see double passes and flea flickers and that kind of crazy shit, because that just ends up blowing up in your face. But I could see some wrinkle that the Buckeyes haven't shown yet. Yeah.
Maybe a throwback or some stuff like that.
Right. Having a good time blocking these Michigan clowns here. It's a full-time job.
Thanks for the traffic, losers.
That's right. You're helping the algorithm. Ray brings up a good point. Ray, what's up? Good to see you. He says, when you mention Day and the family getting death threats, does that give you pause? At least that Day would say family first, love my team and my players, but coaching at OSU isn't worth all this. Because it's got me thinking, especially with not even having that Ohio guy. I always wanted to coach Ohio State to begin with in him. I think I might be scared now. Serious. Yeah. Okay.
Hold on. Can I respond to this? No, it's not a good angle. Let me just
all right, go ahead.
It's what you just said is completely irrelevant, and it's why that we do things where we don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't let the bad guys win. Fuck that. You trounce on them, and I'm with you, Joe. Let's go after anybody that had a death threat. But no, they don't get to dictate. The bad guys don't get to dictate what you're doing with your life. You go on and do your stuff, and no, they're irrelevant. And no, you do not let, because if that happens, then they won. And terrorists, you don't let terrorists win.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that's what it is. Death threats on someone is terrorism. Period.
This is fun. This is kind of like a video game. You get to block all these losers. Keep telling me I'm fat too. Bring it. Keyboard tough guys would never say that shit to my face, would you? I'm in the Tampa area. Come find me. All right. So yeah, I agree, Sean. I don't think that it would make a Ryan Day reconsider his job or his career. But it's an interesting
because there's psychopaths out there. I mean, nah.
Yeah, but then what does he do? I mean, you're going to have that in the NFL. You're going to have that, unless you want to go coach community college or something like that. But yeah, you can't let others dictate your life. Otherwise, then you're just giving them the power.
They can't bully you into it and scare you into it. No, that would inspire me more.
Oh, Drew brings up a great point. Thank you, Drew. Sorry, I missed that one earlier when I was deleting and putting people in timeout. Drew says Harbaugh officially has more suspensions than bowl wins at Michigan.
And we're not talking about number of games suspended. We're actually talking about just suspensions in general.
Yeah, exactly. Crimes against humanity.
Again, I just think it's a big win for Michigan at this point. I'm beyond it. Let's finish this season strong. And, I don't care. I don't really want to spend much time thinking about those idiots anymore. Let's go out there and do Ohio State things.
Right. So Odysseus says, brings up a good point that we have to have the helmet communication, right, by next year. I mean, that has to be installed in the off season, right?
I mean, 100%.
Yeah.
I already thought that that was even being processed now. It's going to be. I thought they were maybe trying to get it in for postseason. Maybe they try it. But it might take some getting used to too. These kids aren't used to that. That type of communication. It's going to be so much easier once they get the hang of it. But
yeah. Yeah, but I think from a logistical standpoint, that has to be across the board done. I mean, in the off season, whenever your teams are done playing, after the playoffs, you got January till August to figure it out and get it installed.
Oh, I got a new rule. After they get the headphones in, I got a new rule I want to push forward then as well. Take 5 seconds off the play. I want 5 seconds on the play clock reduced in college football. That way, you screwed us with the running clock and out of bounds and all that stuff to where you're not getting as many possessions or whatever. Make the play clock quicker and get more possessions. What is it now? 40?
Well, it's 25.
No, that's
NFL. At certain times. No, I think that they're. What is the play clock? Yeah, it's 40 at some points.
I think the whole game it's 40, but then it stops when you get first. It doesn't stop when you get first downs anymore, which is it just keeps going until the last 2 minutes or maybe 2 minutes and a half, 4 minutes at the end of the game, something weird like that. But it's really cut down on the number of plays. I'd like at the end of the season see how many college football plays were ran across all the NCAA compared to last year, and see what it actually did to the game as a whole. But I think it'd be a way to, hey, you're getting the stuff in there quicker because it's in the guy's ear. So I feel like, to drop 5 seconds off of there is legitimate. And I mean, with 40, what's the NFL get? 25? NFL's quick.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're getting 40. I think you could move that down to 35. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Let's check on the chat here as we wind down. Almost 5:30, and boom, put another user in timeout. Have a nice day, loser. And now they're trying to creep into the comments on the channel, so I've got to police that shit. Okay. Got that cleaned up.
Okay, now I changed my mind. I definitely want Michigan to lose tomorrow because when they do,
yeah,
there's going to be a peep on these boards for many of them. Your job of blocking will get a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're going to get out of here. It's 5:30. Please hit the like button on the way out the door. I appreciate you guys. And I had the instant reaction on Sunday morning since it's a late night game. You don't want me slobbering all over the microphone and, burping on the camera and stuff. So you'll get it Sunday morning-ish. But
we're on it. Both of us are on at night.
What?
Okay. Michigan game and Ohio State game are both 7:30. Is that what?
No, Michigan's noon. Noon.
Oh, they're a nooner.
Yeah, we're 7:30.
Ah.
And they haven't announced the Minnesota game for us yet. They're waiting till apparently they have this 6-day window after we play Saturday night. They'll announce the Minnesota game, so we'll know that on Sunday.
They got to figure out. They got to count their dollars, see where they're going to make that money.
Exactly. Quick question before we get out the door. Pam says, if we can't beat them cheaters this year, do you think Ryan Day will be on the hot seat? He has a great record there. Yeah. I say no, he won't be on the hot seat. It'll be a little warm, but you're not going to find a better coach.
No, yeah, definitely not hot. Definitely not hot seat, but it does. Yeah. I mean, what do you mean by hot seat? If he loses, then I think there will be an expectation of next season. Like, hey, Ryan, we're not losing these guys 4 years in a row. They're going to have a different team next year. And in Columbus, that to me would be, okay, now we're getting close to, we got problems.
The grumbling will get louder. That rumble, that you hear after last year, after the Michigan game. So it'll get louder, but the goal is to get into the playoffs. So whatever path that means, if that means we get in with one loss, that's fine. But I want to get into the playoffs. That's the most important to me. But
playoffs.
Yeah. So, all right, Sean, appreciate you hopping on. We're going to get out of here, and we will see you guys Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern.
All right, everybody. Have a nice weekend. Go Bucks.
Yeah. Go Bucks. Enjoy the game, folks. Talk to you later.